Big corporate giants like Meta and Twitter have recently laid off many employees, which has, created chaos in the corporate world recently. And Indians are thinking as to do they have any protection against layoffs in India? Well, to know more about this, we have a legal expert who would be explaining laws behind layoffs in India.
The Indian law, which provides layoff and retrenchment, the legal cover is not enough to protect the labor as well as the workmen working in these industries. Section 2KKK of Indian Industrial Dispute Act talks about layoff, which defines certain condition and put some certain condition on the companies that they should, how and why they should lay off their employees. It further been elaborated in chapter 5A of same act, Industrial Dispute Act, that certain companies which is having less than 100 employees have other provision, and big tech companies and big companies or big establishments where employees numbers are more than 100 and some states have improved it or increased it by 300. So these companies which have employees number as 300 have certain condition for layoff. The layoff is basically a condition where companies or employer fail to provide work or employment to the employee due to certain condition. Indian law provides layoff through government agencies. The companies has to apply or approach the authorities to give layoff to their companies, and without prior approval they could not do so. But here in the case, big companies are forcing employees to resign. We have certain news that governments and other departmental agencies of government are looking into the matter, and they are trying to investigate that whether they have been resigned or they have been forcefully resigned. Their resignation was forcefully obtained. This situation in Indian law has much more effect. The government of India has tried to introduce new labor code which have been passed by the parliament, and president has also given the assent, but it has not been notified as when it will be effective. The layoff by a company must be with prior consent of government agencies, and if a company apply to the government agency for layoff, and it must be decided within 60 days of period, and if it is not decided within the 60 days period, it stands disposed in the favor of the company or the authority which applied for. So Indian labor authorities has to look into the matter within the 60 days, and they can't give permission without the listening or without having heard the parties to the laid off, which are laborers, management and other labor organizations. So laid off are basically nowadays is not actually laid off, but they are retrenchment. Retrenchment is basically removing a person from the service forcefully and by paying some compensation, and big tech companies are doing so. But this retrenchment make them liable for certain compensation. So avoiding those compensation, they are obtaining the resignation of employees forcefully. And so far we don't have any law or legal provision to prevent this forceful resignation, as this is a win-win situation for both employees and employer, because employee has their civic neat and clean because they have themselves leave the job of that employer, and employer escapes the liability of paying employees any compensation. So basically the layoff as defined is not giving any cover to the employees basically, and Indian companies are taking advantage of that situation only.
So certainly there are no laws that protect layoffs in India. While for more such informative videos, you can simply log into our website India.com, and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.